Hi everyone, my name is Greta, and today I will help you, or at least hope to help you, understand what an art director does and what a career in this role look like. But let me start by introducing myself. Just you know me a little bit better. I am a multidisciplinary creative. I currently work as an art director in the fashion industry, but I've previously worked in the beauty industry as well as the music industry. Before I was an art director, I also worked as a fashion model for quite some years. I then went to a film school and got into video editing, videography, content creation, color grading, graphic design, and finally brand design. So, a lot of things design related and just overall creative things, let's say. And I have since been working for different brands in house. However, it is very common to work as a freelance in this career path as well. But I personally have taken the path to work in house. So I wanted to talk to you about art direction as a career path because I often hear that there is a lot of confusion surrounding this role. So today we will be answering, what does an art director do? Um, when I tell people that I'm an art director, they usually ask what it means because oftentimes just hearing the word art in my job title makes people question if I'm in the arts industry. Do I work at some kind of art gallery or a museum? Like, am I a painter? And am I what am I doing here? What kind of art am I directing? And it's really fair. It's genuinely like a fair mistake. In actuality, being an art director means being a creative leader. So it's about basically captivating a wide audience with different visual elements that leave a desired impact on a customer or consumer or viewer, whoever is perceiving your work. And to put it in a more clear way, I like to think of an art director as a conductor of an orchestra, trying to get all the visual elements come together to create something very impactful. Um, so everything you see online or offline, you go into the streets, you look around, it has all had an art director impacted in one way or another. So apps, movies, theater plays, brands, stores, everything we experience in the modern world has pretty much had the touch of an art director. And on a day-to-day basis, an art director has a similar role to that of a film director on set. So think of art directors as like the Wes Andersons or the Spielbergs of marketing. So basically, we make the big creative decisions and guide the efforts of the rest of our team. And what that looks like exactly will depend on the project at hand, of course. Some work will involve careful review of design considerations, things like developing logos and brand identities, perhaps nitpicking print layouts, revisiting typography choices. Other projects, like, say, a commercial or a campaign photo shoot, will involve some more out there tasks like location scouting, let's say sourcing props or model scouting and the rest of it. I personally work on set quite a lot, as you can see in these pictures. I really do like it personally. Like, I work on a lot of different lifestyle photo shoots and even get to travel for work. Like, just a few weeks ago, I was in Los Angeles for a big campaign production for a sportswear brand. A few months back, I went to Cape Town, South Africa, for another campaign photo shoot as well. So as much as I enjoy, let's say, designing and creating assets in post-production, I really do enjoy the on-set art direction as well. It's very, very fun. And I would say a lot of art directors do enjoy this part generally. So how does one become an art director? Art direction isn't like banking or retail outlet. There's not necessarily a clear, simple, hierarchical career ladder to climb. You generally start out with less responsibility and take on more as you gain experience and talent and skills. So some begin as copywriters and discover that through working with a design team, perhaps they learn to appreciate and really like the management angle of the work. So they do become art directors through copywriting. Others start their journey in graphic design and realize they want more control and responsibility. Another common way to get into art direction is through photography. And so there, as you can see, there are many different ways to eventually get into this role. I personally got into it through graphic design, let's say, yeah, graphic design, brand design sort of way. However, it is also like a huge plus that I was previously a model, so I spent a lot of years on set and I actually had a lot of experience, dealing with modeling agencies, knowing really, really well how on-set studio life looks like. So that really simplified things for me, let's say. But it is also quite common to, go through it from a copywriting angle. And that's usually for, creative agencies. That's like a very, very common way to become an art director. But before you apply for junior art direction roles or art direction intern positions, you'll be generally expected to have some graphic design experience. So, knowing Photoshop or Illustrator, or really most of the Adobe suite, actually will be very, very important. You will also be generally expected to have a portfolio. At the very beginning, it's also fine to have a smaller portfolio. It's totally okay as long as you showcase your strongest, most impactful, out of the box execution and work. And then now I actually wanted to give you an example of my own work to help you understand the different steps in my creative process as an AD. When I was working for an award-winning beauty brand called Coco Eve, we were about to launch the world's first retinol honey-infused hair care range called Youth Revive. And from the very beginning, we knew that this needed to be grandiose. So after understanding the unique selling points of the product, me and my design team got to work and started brainstorming different ideas. We knew we needed to make our marketing assets absolutely outstanding, and we wanted to focus on what made this hair care range so unique, which was honey. Focusing on honey as the main prop and this golden yellow color as our key color, we then got to work and organize a lifestyle photo shoot. As you can see here, showing real results on our models. We also did not forget the playful angle of Coco Eve, because in Coco Eve's branding, it's all about being playful, being youthful. So we just definitely wanted to also include some still life assets for the launch. So we briefed our still life photographer and videographer with some more of our ideas, which they then executed. I put the final results into a very effective teaser and launch video, as well as a tutorial on how to use these products in a hair care routine, which really resonated with the audience. Something that's very, very important is that before the actual assets are produced, it's really crucial to prepare well, which is why I always say that the pre-production phase is the most important step in a life cycle of a campaign. Our directors work closely with the key stakeholders to understand the vision and the aesthetic of the project. So basically that the requirements are clear from the very beginning. Then the art directors participate in brainstorming sessions and help develop concepts and ideas that align with the overall creative direction. That usually means that you need to create a very detailed brief with mood boards, storyboards, or visual references to communicate your ideas visually, which then can be pitched to the stakeholders and adjusted if needed. In my pitches, I personally really like to include images, sketches, color palettes, and often visual elements that help convey the intended look and feel of the project. Depending on the project as well, art directors may also be involved in scouting and selecting suitable locations for filming or shooting, which I mentioned previously. They consider factors such as lighting and ambience, logistical requirements to ensure that the chosen locations align with the artistic vision and practical needs of the production. Art directors also are responsible for designing and overseeing the construction of, let's say, sets or different props, different locations, and any other physical elements that are needed for the production. So, working with set designers or carpenters, painters it's a very, very important and really interesting part of the job as well. So as you can see, art directors really lay the groundwork for a successful production in the pre-production phase, which is my favorite phase, as you can tell. I really do think that, and I always say that, if you didn't prepare well, but your work, like your campaign succeeded, it means that you just got lucky. Because in my opinion, to properly deliver good results, you do need to prepare, and there's so much you can do the day off on set, for example, if you are not prepared, because everything depends on you that day, and you just need to have a good backing on what you're going to do that day. Which means that you have done a lot of research, a lot of analysis before, to create the best assets possible on the day of production. So if you want to be an art director, know that your ideas are your playground. Your mission is to bring brands to life. This is really your main, let's say, goal in general. Doesn't really even matter which industry you work in anymore. Like, it's really more about your ideas. It's all about, generating an idea. So I would say there isn't even like a clear way to, just be an art director. I would say it's really, really important to be hungry for art, pop culture, have a good understanding of what's going on around you, read a lot, watch a lot of the current trends and everything that's surrounding you, because that's really, really what's going to happen, to help you in your day-to-day tasks. And if you don't want to be an art director, but you imagine yourself working with an AD in the future, or need an art director's help, know that it's not all about making things look nice. Art directors know how to bring business and creative work together. So, to sort of address the real world markets with innovative ideas and storytelling.